Good morning, everyone. I'm happy to see you today. Today we're gonna continue on the same thing we discussed yesterday about working with Git and GitHub. But today the session will be different in the sense that we will use an approach where you turn on your computer, you do as I do, and ask question if you have any trouble. So I urge all of you to have your computer access with you so that when I do something, you can follow along and ask question if you have any problem. So that means today we are not going to go faster. As some of you yesterday says, the session was a bit faster. So today we are going to go slow and you ask question along. That means we may not cover a lot, but it's better even if we don't go far, but we follow and understand all what we do. So please turn on your computer, get access to the internet, and follow along. Yeah. But before we start to this session, any question regarding yesterday's stuff? Any question? Sorry? Okay, no question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I just wanted to ask regarding the name that you said we should give on the repository. Have you decided on the name?
Yes. So that one, I will talk on it today now. Yes, as because we are going to do some stuff similar to yesterday. So I will go over that one. Any question again? Okay. So if there is no question, then let me share my screen. Then we can get started. Okay. Right. Visual Studio Code, then Chrome. Okay. Just wait a bit. Okay. Okay. So can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. So if you have any question along the way, feel free to chat. Okay. So what we'll be seeing today, in our office hour, we'll be seeing version control, Git, setting up GitHub, username, VSCode, how to do that, and also using Markdown, which we'll be using in our Jupyter. So just like yesterday where we discussed, why do we need version control? So as I made mention yesterday, while we are working with, we are working with document, what we do basically, if you look at it here, for example, you are writing your thesis also, you say final doc, final revised version 2. final revise, final, final. It keeps changing. So the best way to deal with this, not only on document, but also working on software, is to use what we call version control. That takes you the versioning of your everything on your computer, so that you can go back in time. So for example, if I'm working today, I start a project today, in the next 2 years or 3 years, I can go back to the starting date and see the version and modify. So that's why we need, version system. And everyone in software use version control. So the version control we have is called Git. Yeah, it's called Git. That is the version control. So you can use version control for softwares, for both, whatsoever. As we saw yesterday, Dr. Idris yesterday, his PhD thesis, he pushed it in GitHub. So that means he can have access to it, and you can store, data set, everything over the Git hub. So that's the motivation behind Git. But how to use Git? Git, for you to use it, basically you need to use tools. You need to use what we call command line tools. So for example, can you see VSCode now or no? What can you see? The slide or VSCode?
VSCode.
Okay, cool. So all right. So you might already know what is command line. So for people that are not in computer may find it, difficult to understand what command line is. So command line is just, a way to interact with your computer, but, in a way that is not simpler anyway, that is faster, but not intuitive. So whatsoever you see, like in our computer, we go open, close, open folder, right click, you can do everything in command line. We will have a different session where we can go through how to use command line. So this blank line, this blank space is called, is what we call command line. In your Windows system or Linux, we have what we call bash shell or something like that on Windows. In Mac, we also have, another tool. Let me share this. Wow. Okay. So okay. So here, let me open some new one. So you can see here I have my, command line tool where I can do a lot of things. So for example, I can say, okay, here I'm inside my folder called document, and inside the folder document, I have another folder called Git. Now, if I want to see what are the documents inside this folder, you remember in our Windows, we just open it and see, but in terminal, we need to use what is called ls, list, what is inside this. Now, if I want to go through inside this folder called Niger-Sandy, I can say cd Niger-Sandy. Can you see that? So can you see I'm inside Niger-Sandy? So this is just to tell you what is terminal. But I'm not here to start telling you, how to work with it. We will go through it in details, but just to tell you. So now, for you to use, Git, you must be using it via terminal. We cannot use Git the way we use our Windows, like copy and paste. So that means using Git is somehow non-intuitive, because this blank line is not good to use, right? Because this is not convenient. People don't use this. A lot of find it convenient to use. So in that case, there are many, softwares that allows you not to use Git terminal. You can use what we call Git current, GitHub desktop, and source3. These softwares allow you to use Git without using command line, because graphical user interface is more intuitive. So yesterday, Dr. did show us how we can use, GitHub desktop. So let me show you another Two, which I use, VSCode. Okay, let me show you this. I don't know if I open it. Okay, anyway, Git current. So this is another tool. You can see Git legendary Git current client. So it allows you to use, Git and without interacting with the black terminals. So you can download this one, is free. For those of us here, we use GitHub Desktop yesterday, GitHub Desktop. GitHub Desktop. So you can see this one, you can download it as well. So the main idea I want to say is that, which we'll see is that for you to use Git, you need to work with command line. But command line is not intuitive. People don't find it, intuitive. So there are alternatives, and we will come through that. But also not only these softwares, we can now use VSCode to work with Git and GitHub. Now, this is something, that you can use Git, you can use for collaboration and every other thing. However, as I made mention, it involves a lot of commands that you may not be able to, understand it at this moment. So what we will do is to just learn the minimal and learn along the way, because you cannot, learn them all. Because look at the commands you can use for Git. You can see them, Git, something like that, Git branch, Git. You can see all these commands. So we are not going to use them now, but just be reminded that there are a lot of other things that we be using, but we'll use them in the in future. Okay, so now how can we set off Git? Now, if you are on your computer, as I asked, please go to this website and download Git now. So let's move on together. Go to Git. This website. Okay, this is the website. Go to this website. Let me share it in channel. If you have not installed yesterday, go to this website. When you go to this website, you will see, download for Windows. If you are Windows, because I'm on Mac, that is why it's saying download for Mac. Now click download for Windows and download it and install it on your computer. Then after you download then we can continue. Please let me know if you download in the chat so that I can move on. Now, if you download this, if you are on, you are using VSCode, for you to come to the terminal on VSCode, what you need to do is you can see terminal here, and you can click terminal. If you click terminal, it will open new terminal for you on VSCode. If you are working on something in VSCode, you can have multiple terminal in VSCode. You can see I have click plus here. You can see it opens another terminal for me. I can click another, terminal. You can see I have multiple terminals here. And I have what we call ZSH. So we have different kind of command, different terminal. We have bash, we have ZSH, which I'm not going to go further now. But we have, excuse me, 1 minute, please.
Yeah. Yes, thank you very much, everyone. Please try to download it now, because it is lightweight, and it will also give you the opportunity to follow along, and also configured all the tools that you need together, because everything has to work at the same time. You cannot use them separately. You need a GitHub in your computer downloaded, and also you need the VSCode, so that you can be able to integrate these two things together. So please try and download it now. Don't leave it for later.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, also you can ask questions as we are working together. So now, after you download it, I want you to open your VSCode. When you download and install, I want you to open your VSCode. When you open the VSCode, click terminal, click new terminal. When you click new terminal, something here will open. Now, since you install it, I want you to verify whether the installation is correct. Now, how can you verify installation? You can see something like this, Git version. Let me share it in the channel, in the chat. So if I type Git version here, you can see it shows me the version of my Git. This means that you install Git on your computer. Then you are good to go to start to continue working. If this is not installed, you cannot continue. You cannot use GitHub on your computer. So can we confirm all our installation is correct, that we have Git installed? Can we confirm if you are still, yeah, so this is where you download the Git. Download the Git and now verify your installation. You can also have multiple terminal like this. If you come here, split terminal. So for example, if you are working on something, you know, you can have multiple terminal. You can work on this, something like this. You can work on this, another terminal, you know, you can have multiple terminals splitted. So in that case, if you have now, okay, you can delete your terminal like this. Can you see I can delete them, I can delete them, I can delete them, right? So do we all find the version? Okay, any problem or anyone is okay. All right. So if you have installed the version, before we start using Git, you must configure it. Now, how can you configure it? You must tell the Git, for the first time, you must tell the Git, this is me. You must give it your username. So this is what we mean by this. You must configure your Git with your name and email. These are the two commands that allows you to configure your Git. Now, for you to configure it, click this one. Let me share it and use your name. So you can see, go here, I share in the channel. Username, then you type your username. In your email here, you can see my email here, you can type your email. Here you type your name. Even with you, I can write Shamsuddin space Muhammad, just type this in. So let me share with this again. Okay, so type the first command. Let me go back to my computer and do this. So I'm here. You can see I type this. Now I can say, okay, this is my name, Shamsuddin Muhammad, right? So I can use, no, so I don't want, because I already set up my username, right? So try to configure your username. After you configure your username, try to configure your email. The email you'll be using setting up your GitHub. So try you configure your email. You can see the command are the same, @gmail.com. So you can see the command are the same. Git config global means configure my Git on my computer, global on my computer. The username, you provide the username. Git config global user email. So you are telling your computer, this is my username. You are telling your computer, this is my email. So try to configure these two things, because if you don't configure those two things, you will not be able to continue using GitHub at all. Yeah. Any question? All right. So can we move on? Have we configured okay, we are all good, right? Okay, now if you configure your Git, your username and the next thing is, let's move on. Verify the settings that you configure. So let's copy this one. I share it in the chat. git config list. I paste it here and now say this. So you can see it tells me the username is Shamsuddin Muhammad and my email is this. This means I am good to go. I can now start working on Git. If you don't set this, you will not be able to track what we are trying to use, over the GitHub. So the first thing, two things now. First, go and install or download your Git from here. When you download it, you must configure it. Tell it, this is my name, this is my email. Wherever I send this, consider me, I'm the one working on it so that you can track my activities. How can you do that? So this is what we did. Okay, let me go back. This is what we did after downloading. Then you can come back here and see this. Now, you may find it, different things from what I can see. So for example, here, credential that help, you can see something OSS keychain. This is something that is only for my Macs, meaning that it stores the details on, credential, which is called keychain in Mac computer. So don't bother about some other stuff that may not look like the same in your computer. What you need to make sure that is you have something like this. Your username is set, your email is set. Are we good now or any question?
So, Assalamu alaikum.
Yeah, alaikum salam.
My question is about the username. Must it be the same as your GitHub, since we did GitHub yesterday?
Good question. No. So username is just your name. You can just use anything. It's not like, yeah. So this username, it uses to track your activities. So for example, if anything, maybe on your computer, you're not alone or somewhat, so it tracks your activity, that you set the Git. So this is different from your username from GitHub account. Okay. Any question? Muhammad, go on.
I have a
Yeah, I'm not done.
Is the username the same as
GitHub the same with
GitHub account username, or you can just create a new username? It doesn't matter.
Okay, so two people are talking. Mahmoud, can you start?
Hello?
Yes, Mahmoud, go on.
Yeah, so I want to ask whether is Git bash the same with Git or is different?
Okay, good question. Now, then next one, the other Mahmoud that is talking.
Okay, hello?
Yes, yes.
My question is the GitHub account username, the same username account, your original GitHub account, or you can just create a new username and put it into the...
Yes, so you create username for Git different from GitHub. There are two different things. GitHub username is something different that used to track or to store your activities over the GitHub. Git username is your name that tracks your activity on your local machine. So let me go to these things. Let me share something like this. Okay, so you can see we have Git. We have GitHub. In Git is something on your local computer. You don't need GitHub. If I want to do everything to make sure I do version control on my computer, I don't care sending anything to GitHub to online, then I don't need this part. What I need is only this: install Git, configure your Git, and track changes on local computer. So that when you make changes, you can go back to yesterday, you can go back to tomorrow, you can, you can track changes. We'll talk about this in detail, but you can see this is different because you can have your own Git without GitHub. GitHub is meant to send your stuff that you have on your computer locally to remote, to somewhere server on computer to store it, so that you can have collaboration, so that you will not miss. If your computer got burnt, you will have access to stuff. You can do a lot of other things. So Git and GitHub are two different things entirely. Therefore, the username we set in Git is different from the username we set in GitHub, because you can have Git and use it without even having a GitHub. Right. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if this answers your question. Then the next question is somebody that asked him, Git bash and Git, are they the same? I think Git bash is for people that are using Windows, because I have not used Windows. Git bash, I have not even tried to look what Git bash is. So Git bash, I think, I don't know what Git bash. Yeah, Git for Windows is Git bash. So I think we are bringing the awesome Git SM to Windows. So maybe anybody, Dr. Idris, maybe you used Windows before. Yeah, Git bash, Git for Windows provide a bash emulation. Okay, it's emulator. So what you can see here, I'm using like I can use terminal here, my terminal. So this terminal, okay, that is something different that we need to discuss. About talking about bash and whatsoever. So bash is also a language. Oh, this is getting in another direction. Bash is a language that allows you to interact your computer through terminal. So Windows have their own, which is called Git bash. Git for Windows was a bash emulation used to run Git from the command line. Can you see that? Used to run Git from command line. So this Git bash is only for Windows users, that allows you to run Git commands inside the Git bash. So it's just emulation. So yeah, Dr. Idris, you are here. Can you talk about Git bash? You used Git before. Okay. Anyone here with that has used Git bash before that can give answer, because I haven't used it before.
Yes, thank you very much, Doctor.
Yes.
I think you have said it. You have said it. Actually, Git bash is just like it's an how do you call it? It's a shell.
Mm-hmm.
It's a shell for Windows.
Yeah.
It's just a shell for Windows that you can run your code.
Okay.
So it's not something different. It's just a terminal application that is used.
That's why they say here is emulation. Yeah. So you can see here I have my Git and I have my Git bash, I guess. Somebody raised up hand. Mahmoud, you can go on.
Yeah, sir. That means if you have Git bash only, you need to install Git again.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes, yeah. But I think for Windows user, sorry, I'm not Windows user, but I think for Windows user, anyway, you can get it here. Anyway, yeah, we bring awesome Git SM to Windows and download it. Maybe I think also if you download this Git bash, maybe it can install the Git automatically as well. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Sorry, Git bash comes with the GitHub desktop directly. So if you download GitHub desktop, automatically it will ask you to install Git bash.
Okay. The GitHub desktop, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
When you download GitHub desktop, it's when you are installing it, it will install the bash. Just like how Dr. MD said, it is a terminal for Windows directly.
Okay, thank you. Anybody want to contribute? I have not used this before. Because the thing is, people that are using Linux or Mac, they already have an awesome terminal to work with. But people using Windows, they don't have such powerful features for terminals. That is why Windows are bringing something called Windows Git bash or whatsoever, so that it can, because you can see it is emulated, so that it can emulate such powerful behaviors for Unix. They rooted here for Unix users. So Unix users should feel right at home as the bash emulation behave just like Git command Linux. Anyway, let's move on. You can check more about this. Yeah. Okay, any question before we move on? All right, so let me go on. So after you verify your settings, you now find out what I do. Okay. Go back. Okay. Okay. So let's move on. So now we find out, how our Git is ready. Now, as I said, we will have a dedicated sessions on how we can use Git because there are a lot of commands for that, but we will have the session. Now, for the essence of today's session is just for us to do setup and other things. So Git over internet, as I said, we have Git over internet. We can use many hosting services like GitHub, GitLab, and Gitbucket. You can have your Git only, but if you want to collaborate or work with something remotely, you need to have GitHub-like, Git-like on the internet. So we have many services, GitHub, GitLab, and Bitbucket, but we'll be using GitHub that allow us to, to do because it's widely used. Now, as I said, these are some of the example difference between Git and GitHub. So this is only Git, this is GitHub, used for version control whatsoever, and this is GitHub, it's cloud-based, allow you to, do collaborate and many other things. So for GitHub, if you install Git only and you are not using Git, if you only install Git and you are not using GitHub, then you cannot collaborate. But for you to collaborate, you need to push anything that you are working on remote server, which is GitHub, which you can see we have user A, user B, user C, and they can all use your, the same repository. Now, let's move on. As I said, today is, practical. Let's move on. We have many terms for Git. So now we will be using GitHub, but we have many terms related to GitHub and whatsoever. We have what I call commit, fetch, repository, rebase. What you learned yesterday, we discussed about, Dr. This talk about repository. So what do you mean by repository? We will discuss all this stuff as you see them. Now, what do you mean by repository? We'll take a look at it. So your turn. Create an account on GitHub if you have not done yesterday. As Dr. Idris goes through with us, create an account. For us to create a GitHub account, we need to go over here, create an account. Yes, go and create an account. Pick a good username, and short is better, but you can always also change your username at the end of the day. So create Git account, GitHub account. So I'm just repeating what Dr. Idris did yesterday. Oh no, because I already signed up, so that's why it took me. So, but when you have not signed up, you see something. Now let's assume we create a GitHub repository. You can see GitHub, you can see your repository here, you can see the repository. So when we say repository, what do we mean by repository? So let me show you what is the meaning of repository. So in Git and Git, language, this is what we call repository. You have a repository is just a folder with many subfolders in it. So this is a repository. Sometimes you hear people call it repo, or repository. So when somebody said create a GitHub repository or repo, it means creating a repo. So you can see you have your repository, which means my folders here, you can see them, repo. And for you to create a new one, and you can see here, you can edit your profile here. I can say edit my profile, many other things you can change. You can change your website if you have website whatsoever. You can add some information. My name is Shamsuddin Hassan. Your bio, just add your bio, your name you want to appear, your bio, upload your picture. Many other things you can add. You can see them social media whatsoever. You can add them as you wish. And you can see you can follow other people. So if you create your GitHub username now, share it in the Slack channel or here in this channel. Then you can follow other people. So you can see people, for example, follow me 28 people. So share your link for your GitHub account so that people can follow you. We can follow you. So we can follow each other. Why do you follow anyone on GitHub? Because you can see their activity. If they do something new, they push it and it is open, you can see what they have done. Now, how can you can also configure your GitHub repository to look like somehow nice. So let me show you what I mean. So you can see, for example, my GitHub repository, my information, every other thing you can. So you can now, this is just something you could Google, like how to create impressive GitHub read profile, GitHub profile README. So this here is called profile README. So you can create a very good profile README. Let me go back. Very good looking profile README. Let me. Can you see example? Can you see how this one create his own? Can you see how this one create his own? Can you see it? Can you see very good ones? Can you see this one, how he created his one? Right? Can you see? So it tells a lot of information about yourself and what you do and whatsoever. So just Google and you can have, GitHub profile, set up GitHub profile. So I share in the channel. Yes, so somebody share his GitHub account. So I share in the channel. For you to share your account, you can click here. You can see my GitHub username is SHMapHospital 2024. So let me share it as well with you. So if you share it, when you click, if you already have your GitHub username, you can follow other people. So follow each other so that you can see the activities other people are doing. Now, for you to set up this one, as I show you, what you need to do, just Google this. And you will see many, you can see many set of GitHub managing your profile. You can see this one, how you can manage your profile, a lot of customize your profile, a lot of information. You can go and do that yourself. All right. So the next thing is now we create a GitHub username and create GitHub account. The first thing we need to do is, can you see this plus sign? Plus sign. Can we see this plus sign? When you see this plus sign, you can see create new repository. Don't talk about anything. We have something like new organization. So you can see here, I have many organizations. So you can have your account, but you can also be part of member of other organizations. So you can see here, I have organizations which I'm managing. So for example, if I click here, which one is this? AfriHead. Okay, this, okay, not this one. Ario Data Science. Okay, you can see this one, Ario Data Science. So you can see I have organization, which is Ario Data Science that I am managing. You can see like the GitHub 30 days of Python is in that organization. So organization is something like you can have, a sub-home inside your GitHub account where you can do something different. So that's also. So if you want to create a repository, click here, new repository. Dr. Idris already explained this one. Write the name of your repository. So what kind of name are we going to create a repository for our, 30 days of Python? So let me show you. Didn't I have it here? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. This is it. So name your GitHub, create a new repository called this name of Python. So here you can see 30 days of Python. So this is what we're gonna create, this one, 30 days of Python. You can see it. You can write anything. This is my 30 days Python whatsoever. And change this one to public. When you change this one to public, add README. You can say add README. Oh, okay, I didn't select here because I have many organizations. Then I select owner because I'm the owner, Shamsuddin. You can see I have many organizations, many projects. So I select this one here. You can see that. So, I have 30 days of Python. Then you can click here as Dr. Idris explained yesterday. So yes, wow. So you can see I have my 30 days of Python. So let's do this and reach here and ask question if you have any problem. Are we all here? Do we all create our GitHub username, account, and this repository 30 days of Python? Do we all create here? Are we all here? If you have any problem, just ask question.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
How are you?
Good.
Hello.
Yes, good. Go on, go on.
Okay. So since yesterday, I already create my depository name.
Okay, you can change it. So you can
okay.
come over here, settings. Can you see the name here? You can say, okay, Salau.
Okay.
Salau Musa. So you can rename. So you can see Salau Musa now here.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, good. So this is just a recap of what we did yesterday because some of us were not here. And yeah, so now we have our GitHub repository. Now, how can we bring this one to VSCode? This is the game. This is where we, get started. So now, we need to set up VSCode to do this. Now, we need to, okay, as you can see, there are many ways to interact with GitHub, such as using command line and, using other tools, which are graphical user interface. Dr. Idris yesterday talked to us about using GitHub desktop. But you can also use terminal. So let me go to my VS Code. So you can see here, okay, let me go to my, so you can see this repository. When I click here, can you see when I click here, as Dr. Idris explained yesterday, click here. Now I can come to my VS Code. If I want to bring this repository, this repository to my computer, I can come to GitHub here, my terminal here. I can type git colon and put this link. No, let me use this. Git colon, can you see, and put this. Git colon and put this link. When you type this, you can see this is so you can see in few seconds, this terminal now brings, I'm using it on my, okay, let me see the main Git. Okay, I'm inside my GitHub folder now. So I can say git colon this. So now it has already bring this repository in my computer now. Now, what is the name of the folder called Salau Musa? Let me show you ls, what are inside my Git repository. Can you see what are inside my Git? So if I go to Salau Musa, I can check Salau. Can you see Salau Musa? So I can go inside CD Salau Musa. If you have many things, anyway, we can discuss this, but now I think, so you can see I'm inside Salau Musa, and when I said ls, open what is inside Salau Musa, you can see that only file readme, and when I want to see this, you can see when I want to see what is inside readme, I use a command called cat readme. It means show me what is inside readme. So you can see I have this. But the issue is now we don't know these kind of commands like cat, ls, all these like git colon, all these are a lot of commands for you that you may not find it, funny, and they can be, so the good thing is don't bother about all these commands. Assume I didn't talk about it. We'll come and talk about them in future, what do I say? More on these ones. So don't bother about them. We're going to use a tool that will have somehow kind of abstraction, which was using yesterday. We saw GitHub desktop, but today we are going to use VSCode. But for you to use VSCode without using all these commands, if you want to bring this thing to your computer, you need to set up extension called GitHub VSCode. So you can see this. Hello, you cannot hear me?
We can.
We are hearing more than clear.
You say what?
We can hear you.
What about before I was talking? It seems like I unmute myself. Were you able to hear me?
No, it was okay. It was okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. So now for you to use, okay. Now if I want to use, let me just show you if I want to use it on my computer to bring that thing. What I need to use is I just need inside your computer. If you are using VSCode, in my computer I press Command P. Okay, let me use this one. Maybe you can see this command palette in my computer. The shortcut is Shift this P. If I click it, can you see what opens here? What opened here? So try on your computer, click here, command palette, it opens this. In VSCode, everything you're gonna do is through command palette. You can do it through command palette. But for me, I use shortcut. I just call command Shift P, it open it. I think in Windows is terminal Shift P or something whatsoever. I don't know actually, but you can see it from here. If you click here, command palette, you can see the shortcut. So in my computer Mac, this is a shortcut. So I do like this. Can you see it shows me something? So type something, clone. Can you see clone? Then when you see clone, then click on it. You can see it say clone from where? From say GitHub. Then you say GitHub. Then you paste the GitHub link. Can you see it now? Find that GitHub folder that was on my GitHub account. Then click on it. Now it is prompting me to select somewhere else to save it on my computer. So now I select, maybe you cannot see my computer, but I select desktop. I select desktop and it's telling me to open it. So you can see now after I select desktop, I said, oh, so now you can see I open it. So this means that for us to use,
sorry, sir, can you repeat the last process? Sorry.
Okay, good, yeah. Sure. Okay, so if you want to bring this into VSCode, you must first install VSCode extension for Git. This is it. So can we all go and install this? Okay, now VSCode, you can see this is it. It's called, let me take it, install GitHub request and issue. So you can see this one, GitHub full request and issue or whatever. So you need to come here first and install GitHub extension. You can see this one, I install it. So install it if you have not, because you cannot use. So you can install all the GitHub data. So you can install this one, GitHub. You can see it, install it first. You can install this one as well. This one, GitHub repository, install GitHub repository, install GitHub pull request and issue. You can install these two things for now, this and this, install them.
Assalamu alaikum.
Yes.
Is it only me that is seeing delay in the screen? Maybe if you talk, it will take almost like 1 minute before I see what you are saying.
Okay, maybe other can talk.
Maybe it's for you, sir. We can see it clearly here without any delay.
Okay. So,
maybe my network.
Okay, now if you install this one, GitHub pull request and GitHub remote repository, if you are okay with these two things, you install them. Now you can bring any remote repository, on GitHub, you can bring it on your computer. How can you do that? Come over here, click command palette, it will pull out something. Because if you don't install this GitHub pull request and GitHub repository, you will not see this git clone. So I can type clone. When I type clone, you can see we have git clone. Then click this git clone. When I click git clone, where am I? Because when you install this one, GitHub and GitHub username, it will allow you to first to log in into your GitHub. You look at it. Can you see I log in into my GitHub? Can you see my GitHub? Because when you install this one, I think this one and this one, they will prompt you to log in into a GitHub account. So when you log in into a GitHub account, you will automatically see that you are logged in. So yeah, you automatically see. So you can see I can sign out here. So let me try to sign out. And oh, no ways. It's okay. You know what I mean. So try to install this and this one. When you install them, it will prompt you to log in into a GitHub account. So just provide your GitHub details and log in. So when you finish everything, what you need to do is come over here, command palette, Git clone from GitHub. You can see it's now searching GitHub, and it is bringing all the repository that I have in my GitHub account. I can select them. I can type the name if I want to. So maybe I can say, my website. You can see website. So you can see it telling me house NLP website, portfolio website, whatsoever, website, even other people repository that are not on your computer. Let me Abu Maprim. So yeah, so you can see. Sorry. Hello. Somebody is asking question. Okay. Anyway, just go and clone your repository. Here you can see we have here. I click here. You can see here. I click this one, and I can come over to my VSCode. Go over again. Click here. Command palette. Type clone. Clone from where? From GitHub. Then paste the link. Can you see that? Paste the link. When you paste the link, let me share. Okay, when you paste the link and click this one, you can see, yes, this is, when you click this one, it will prompt you. Now it's prompting me to save on, to select a location in my computer. Let me share my screen so that you can see everything again. Let me share the whole screen of my computer. Okay, can you see me? Can you see my VSCode?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now let me go over.
No, sir.
You cannot see my VSCode? Can you see my VSCode?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, command palette again.
Yes. Maybe it's from you.
Clone from GitHub, paste the link. You can see it's showing me. So when I click here, can you see it now telling me to select location on my computer? Can you see my desktop now?
Yes.
So I select yes. I say, okay, clone it here. You can see it's now cloned. And it is asking me, open this new repository in a new set. I say, yes, open it. You can add it to existing workspace. When I say I add it to existing workspace, it will add it to your existing VSCode that you open and stack it. I will show you something. I will show you in a bit, but just let's click here, open in a new window. Okay, open in a new window. So you can see now it opens it in a new window. Can you see new window? Can you see this one, right? So here, so if it opens in a new window, then I can create a folder here. Can you see folder here? I can create a folder here. I said, okay, this is D1. Can you see a folder? I can create, if you want to create a folder inside this, you can go inside it. But here, I can create another folder, D2. So you can see I have these folders. I can have another folder, D3. But if I want to create a folder inside this folder, you can even right click. Can you see right click? When I right click, I can say new folder. Example. Can you see now you have another folder inside example? I can create a new folder. Example. So you can see you have two folders inside this one. Can you see that? You have two folders. Now, if I have this folder, you can create a file inside this folder, new file. You can see it. I say exercise.ipymb, meaning I want to use, what do you call it? Jupyter. Can you see ipymb? Or you can say, create a file, example.py, meaning Python. So you can see I have Python, this one. So we'll discuss more about using Jupyter Notebook next week, and a lot of other stuff. So yeah, so you can see now I created, I think it is already time. So you can see now I cloned it, I create folders on my computer, right, on this. But if you already installed this, you can see something here. Can you see something here? Can you see something here? It's telling you that, hey, you made some changes that are not on your remote GitHub account. You made some changes because I create new files. You can see them here, but they are not on my remote. So it is asking you to commit. What do you mean by commit? Commit means put these changes, add these changes I do. So I say, okay, added exercises. Just you need to put comment. Added exercise. Just put this comment as that Idris yesterday explained. And just put maybe exercise day 1, exercise day 1. Just a comment. Anything you can write in material. Now click commit. Now when you click commit, look something like this called sync changes. When you click sync changes, let's look what is happening. What is happening here is that it is pushing your changes you made to GitHub account. Let's go back to GitHub now. So as Dr. Idris explained yesterday, we need to refresh. When we refresh here, yes, you can see day 1 is here, day 2 is here, it has come here. So means that you can basically come over here, do your exercises. So if this is my exercise 1, exercise day 1, right? Then, for example, you want to do your question 1, you can say, okay, question 1, right? You can change this one to Markdown because here is Python. I can click here, change it to Markdown. You can see Markdown. No, Markdown. So write the question exercises. So what is the exercises? Maybe it's printing, print 1 + 1. Maybe the exercises. Select your where is my, okay, I select, you can see I have 2, right? 1 + 1. Then you can go over here and say, okay, question 3, question 2. This is question 2. You can say, okay, the answer is print 3 + 1, 3 + 3. So you can see I made addition, solution to exercise day 1, right? What you need to do after you finish is push them. You can see here, meaning there is some changes you do and you have not pushed them to your GitHub repository. So you click here, you say, okay, so added solution 2, you say commit, sync changes. Now you can see this, nothing is here. Then when we come over to our GitHub account and refresh again, when we go to day 1, and when I open my, yeah, you can see the exercises. Cool. I know I'm moving faster, but we can ask more question now. Yeah.
I have a question, sir. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Sir, is it necessary to use this Jupyter notebook or we can use .5?
Yes, you can use .5. But Jupyter notebook, yeah, you can use that. But what we encourage using Jupyter notebook because when you go over doing data science, Jupyter notebook is easy to experiment, to see your result as you go along. You know, it's really good to do machine learning and other stuff with Jupyter notebook. So I think a lot of communities in machine learning and data science, they are using Jupyter notebook to do data science. So it's quite good for us to learn how we can use Jupyter notebook.
Okay, but for now, for this 30 days,
Yes, you can. For these 30 days, you can use your .py if you like. But what I'm saying is, if you are using Jupyter Notebook now, then you are learning every day. You learn 1 or 2 things on using it on Jupyter. So by the time you finish, you are familiar with Jupyter Notebook and everything. But you can use your .py. It is your preference. Yes. Okay. Question.
So I have a question.
Yes.
It's like all these things. One has to be connected to the internet.
Exactly.
And secondly, sir, we that are using Jupyter Notebook from Anaconda, how can we connect it to our GitHub?
I don't know that one. So that's why I explained. Okay, so if you are using that, maybe you can follow this approach yesterday where you are using GitHub desktop. And so using GitHub, you can push everything wherever you are working on it. Yes, but that's why I said today is for people that are using VSCode. And I told you like VSCode has a lot of advantages and we'll be showing them as we move on. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
To add to that, if you are using Jupyter Notebook, on your GitHub, you can upload your folder directly from your computer. You see, push is just the same thing as upload. Understand? So it's the same thing. So you can upload folder from your computer to your GitHub repository.
So the thing why we was showing this way, because this is the simplest way, but also one can over here, you can see upload file. Can you see that?
Exactly.
So you can upload your file whatsoever you like. So you can do that as well. Okay, question again. Lukman is as Lukman, go on.
Okay. So the way you explained was just you adding all the exercises. So what we've been doing from 1 to 10, do we like copy them into the file before uploading? Or we can just upload the ones we have before?
So okay, now for example, now if I have D1, so I can have like inside D1, I have my Jupyter Notebook. I can have exercise D1. I have question 1, question 2. You can put them all to question N. Or you can have inside your D1, you can have files, question 1, question 2, question 3, up to question N. But I think this is more better because you put everything inside a single Jupyter Notebook and you have questions and something like this. Yes. So I think the easiest and better way I will advise is just create a folder. Inside this folder, create a Jupyter Notebook and do your exercises. It will come to a situation where you have many other things, you can put them here, and other exercises that you may not use Jupyter Notebook. We'll come to other exercises that you may not necessarily use Jupyter Notebook, but now you can use this. Yes, go on. Any question again? Using Jupyter Notebook also is like, something that we need to learn. So I will share something about Jupyter Notebook that will be helpful, I guess. Yeah, so you can also go to this webpage, this link, you can search on your computer, working on with GitHub and VSCode. You can search this one. You will learn a lot about that. Okay, so I think
for some of us who are using Jupyter Notebook, please be rest assured that you are doing the right thing.
Exactly.
You are doing the right thing. You see, the thing is just that let me give you a scenario. Like when you have a file on your system and you want to save that file on your Google Drive, which is virtual, right? So it's the same thing. It's the same thing here. You see, when you are working with your Jupyter Notebook, you have the opportunity to even download your code to your system, to your computer. Then from there, you can upload it to your GitHub repository. So it's the same thing. So it's not, for convenience, that is why Doctor is sharing the VS Code or showing us the VS Code procedure. But with your Jupyter notebook, you are fine. You are good to go.
So somebody say he installed. So I think Rahma, did you install this Jupyter, this extension? So in the first day, we made mention we need to install this extension for us to be able to use Jupyter Notebook in VS Code. So this is the extension. Come here and install it. Yes, come here, install it. Install the Jupyter. If you don't install Jupyter Notebook, it will not work. Any question again? Okay, so let me show you something again. Okay, for now, let me leave it so that I will not overwhelm him or overwhelm you. We discuss more things in the days coming. I wanted to introduce you something that allows you to, organize your stuff into like folders or project in your VS Code. Yeah, maybe I will introduce it. Yeah. Oh, you install Jupyter. So Rahma said she has an issue, but I don't know. Okay, maybe if anybody has an issue, you can, I think for now we are done with today, but if anybody has an issue, you can wait and share your screen so that we can help you to figure out your issue. So I think thank you all for joining us today. It's really good. And if you have any question or something you need help, just wait after everyone leaves so that we can continue. But for official discussion for today, I think we are done. Thank you all for joining. But for those that will have questions, you can wait and ask more questions. Thank you. All right, so any question?
Yes, I have a question, sir.
Okay, go on.
Sir, how can someone collect his kit, sir?
Kit?
Yes, the T-shirt.
Oh, I think Dr. Ibrahim or Falalu, Falalu, are you here?
Yes, doctor, I'm here.
What is, can you answer their question?
No, I didn't hear. What did he say?
How can someone collect his T-shirt?
Yes, where are you? We have the list. Inshallah.
Yes.
Are you in Kano?
Yes, sir. I came into Kano yesterday, sir.
Okay, I will discuss this with Dr. Ibrahim. We will see how you can collect your T-shirt. For those in Kaduna, you see that they will collect their T-shirts at the Department of Computer Science, Kaduna State University, inshallah. For those that are in Kaduna.
Okay.
Hello. Yes, let me show you. One thing.
Sir, please, can you hear me?
Yes, we can discuss that via Telegram.
Hello?
Yes, are you listening?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've heard you. I've heard you.
Oh, okay. Let me show you one final thing. Oh no. Okay.
Sir, please, can I ask my question?
Please raise your hands. Raise your hands up when you want to ask questions so that there will be no conflict in the voice.
Yes.
When two or three people are talking, it will be jamming. So please just raise your hands up so that we can coordinate it.
Okay. Yes. So what is happening, Rama? Okay. Now.
Okay, sir. Good morning.
Morning. So here we have Markdown. Click that plus sign for Markdown. Markdown.
Okay.
Yes, that one. Let's see. Click.
Okay, here is the error it's telling me. This is the error message.
Okay. So can you go? Can you? Okay, install that one. Okay.
Yes.
Local not register.
I think she can switch to free release version. sometimes when you switch, it can work, yes. The reloads. So you have to restart your, after you finish installing, you can restart the...
Close the VS Code and restart it. Close the VS Code and open it again.
Okay, thank you.
Close it and open.
It's still installing. It's still installing. Let it finish installing.
Okay.
Before she finishes, I think Aminu can ask his question.
Okay, Aminu, ask your question.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Please, can you hear me, please?
Yes, continue, Aminu.
Yes, continue, Aminu. Okay, sir. My question is that also that we did all the exercise for day 1 to 10. So, for example, when I did all the number of exercises that are in the list of day 1 exercises, so if I did it in the same page, so during pushing it in GitHub, did I need to split the number of exercises, or I just have to put it all the exercise that I have done in the same page?
Well, I already explained this. You can, okay, let me share my screen again. So I already explained this. You can create a folder called day 1 and put everything you have. If it is inside Jupyter Notebook, you can say question 1, you put the solution for question 1. You say question 2, for the solution for question 2. If it is .py file like this, you have, for example, you can have, for example, where can I rename this? Okay, you can have exercise 1, you put the solution. If you have exercise 2, like this, you put the solution, and put the solution for exercise 2, put the solution for exercise 1. You can do this. Or we can say you can have a single Jupyter notebook with all the questions exercise for day 1, which is more convenient, I think. But so you can choose any one you like. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir.
A question? Any question?
Sir.
Yes.
With the .py file.
Yes.
Is it also possible to solve all the exercises in one file? Because you can use the comment. You can use comments to differentiate maybe the different exercises. Is it also okay?
Well, yeah, so it's okay, but I think in .py, that is one good thing with Jupyter Notebook. You can run things, in chunk. So, for example, if I want to look up your exercises, the old work, I can just go to chunk for question 1, run it, go to question 1. But if you are using the .py, you need to, it's not that convenient in a way. Like you need to, because Jupyter Notebook allow you to do something iterative, to practice and stuff like that. But in Python,